Hello guys, welcome to this tutorial. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how to create this amazing text effect on Pixellab, and at the end of this tutorial, I'll also be showing you how to save this text effect as a preset so that you can reuse it without having to recreate it anytime you need it. If you're an old subscriber, thank you for coming back. If you're new to the channel, kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification icon to get notified whenever we post a new video. Kindly give this video a thumbs up so that YouTube can recommend it to other people. Without further ado, let's get started. Now the first thing we want to do is to take off this text that we have on our screen here. So we'll just hide it to remove it. Next up, we want to head onto the plus icon and we want to head onto text, and we're going to type August. Since today is 1st of August, we're going to be using the word August. So we'll just type it and we have it there nicely. So next up, we want to head on to font, and we'll be using a font that I installed here. So if you don't know how to install font on Pixellab, I will leave a link in the description of a video that will show you a step-by-step on how to install font on Pixellab. So now that we have our text there, we'll head on to size and we'll increase the size all the way to 111, and we have it there nicely, and we'll place it here and we'll click OK. So the next thing we want to do is to change the color of this text. Now for this tutorial, I've created my color palette and I'll be selecting my colors from this color palette. So I head on to color and then gradient, and I'll activate this gradient. Now you can see I have this color palette. So if I want to select a color from this color palette, I'll head on to this plus icon here and select this, and then I'll use the eyedropper tool here, and then I can select colors from here. So I can select from here, and also from here. So but for this I want to use the white, and I'll click OK, and I'll click OK here and select the second one and select the eyedropper again, and I'll go back here and I'll select this gray color here, and I have it there, and I'll click OK. So I have my color there and I'll click OK. So the next thing I want to do is to head on to my stroke here, and then I'll enable the stroke, and I'll reduce the stroke width to 2 pixels, and I'll change the stroke color to a gray color, and I'll check. So now that I have it there, the next thing I want to do is to head on to 3D text, and I have my 3D text here, and I'll enable it, and I will change the view type to oblique, and then I'll change the depth all the way to 3 pixels, and I have it there nicely. And the next thing I want to do is to change the oblique angle to 225. So I have it at 225, and I will change the light angle to 105. So I have it there at 105, and then I will reduce the shadow all the way to 20 pixels. Reduce the shadow all the way to 20 pixels, and I'll click OK. So now that I have it there, I'll make a copy of that text, I'll make a duplicate, and I'll drag it all the way down, and I'll head on to size, and I want to increase the size by 1 pixels, and I'll click OK. So now that I have it there, the next thing I want to do is to head on to style, and I'm going to change this text style to make it bold, and I have it there, and I'll check. So the next thing I want to do is to head on to stroke, and I want to increase the width of the stroke all the way to 10 pixels. So I have it there at 10 pixels, and I'll check. So the next thing I want to do for this very text is to change the color. So like I said, I have my color on my color palette. All I need to do is to select it. So I head on to color, and then I head on to gradient, and then I use this arrow key, and then I select this, head on to the eyedropper tool here and to my color palette, and I'll select this first color, and I'll check, and I'll select this, head on to the eyedropper tool, and I'll select the second color. So all you need to do is to take note of the color code up here. So I'll click OK, and I have my gradient nicely. So I check. So the next thing I want to do is to change the color of my stroke to this very gradient that I'm using. So I'll change it to this gradient, and I'll click OK. So now that I have it there, I want to increase the depth of the text below to 4 pixels. So I'll head on to 3D text and the depth, and I'll increase it to 4, and I'll click OK. So now that I have it there nicely, I want to select this text on top here, and I'll head on to shadow. And then I'll enable the shadow, and then I'll reduce the opacity all the way down to 50 pixels, and I'll reduce the blur radius all the way to 2%. So I'll reduce it all the way down to 2, and then I'll head on to the offset on the x-axis, and I'll make it to be -3, and then the offset on the y-axis, I'll make it to be 6 pixels. So I'll click OK. So I'll also select the text below, and then I'll head on to shadow, and then I'll enable the shadow, and I'll reduce the opacity all the way down to 70%. So reduce it to 70%, and I will reduce the blur radius all the way to 5 pixels, and then I'll head on to the offset on the x-axis, and I'll make it -3, and the offset on the y-axis, I'll make it 3 pixels respectively. So I'll click OK, and then I want to position my text to the center. So I'll select this, and then I'll use the positioning tool to position this to the center. So I'll just position this here, and I'll position it here, and I'll also select this, position it here, position it here as well. So I'll head on here, and I'll select this, and I want to take it up so that it stays on top of that, and I have it there nicely. So we want to reduce the depth of this text that we have on top here. Select the text on top here, and we'll head on to 3D text, and we'll reduce the depth all the way down to 1 pixel, and we have it there nicely. So guys, as you can see, our text is looking all that nice. If you got value for this, kindly hit on the subscribe button, kindly turn on the notification icon to get notified whenever we post a new video, and I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. So guys, to take us further, I'll be showing you how to save this as a preset so that you can reuse it in the future. So now what we'll do is to head onto the layers panel, and we'll select this first text here, and as you can see, we have style here. So we want to save this style, and we want to save it as a new style. So we'll just click OK, and we have it saved, and we'll head onto the layers panel again, and we'll select the one below, and we'll head onto style, and we'll save it. So we are saving the two as individual style. So we have them saved there, and you can see we can reuse this. So if anytime you want to reuse your style here, so you have your text here, you just head on to style, and you can browse the styles that you have. So you can see my style, you can see the existing styles that I've created, and you can see the styles here, they are visible. So you just select it, and you just click OK. So we'll just edit this text so that you can see what it looks like. So we just have this, so we'll change it to something else. Let me just change it to Emmy, and we have it here, and we'll select the one below as well, and we'll also change it to Emmy, and we have it there nicely. So you can see that our effect can be applied to any text that we have at all. So guys, we've come to the end of this tutorial. If you've gotten value for this, kindly hit on the subscribe button, kindly turn on the notification icon to get notified whenever we post a new video, and I would like you to share your thoughts with me in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.